Fit pros are all about good habits. So here's 7 good habits from entrepreneurs just like you that lead to gym owner success. Welcome to Naamly University Online. I'm your host, Elias Scar. Now, Sumit, you are in a unique position than the average gym owner. I know you've spent time with like hundreds of fitness professionals in all manner of masterminds. Give me an idea of who you've spent a lot of time with, who you've been around, and what have you noticed as a habit that leads to highly successful gym owners?
Yeah, I'm very blessed, Elias, from that viewpoint because I do get to rub shoulders with people like Pat, Doug, Fisher,
Hmm.
Vince, the Cosgroves, Todd Durkin. Like I'm very, very blessed that I do get to hang out with them, where gym owners from across the country come together and just hear them see and strive to get better.
Hmm.
And and in my mind, the one thing that stands out and that's a common theme that I've seen across all these gym owners, small business owners, these entrepreneurs is the mindset, is a growth oriented mindset.
Hmm.
That's the right way of putting it. Like they have this burning desire to achieve something, and they also have this relentless drive to make their desire a reality. And there is belief, unwavering belief that it's going to happen. It's just going to happen. And, every obstacle, every challenge, every issue is a stepstone to helping us get better and arriving at the place that we want to be. So that's what I have found to be the overarching theme, the positive mindset, the growth mindset.
Awesome. Perfect. Have a growth mindset. Now, is there something you would tell up and coming gym owners on how to cultivate that growing mindset, that growth mindset?
Yes. So I struggle with this a lot myself too, right? Because I guess as entrepreneurs, we're always looking at the glass half full because we want more. We're driven, and no matter what we do, it's never good enough. And we want more, right? So there are some things that I do myself, and I've seen others also talk about that some things connect a little bit better. Things like I'll give you a few. So one is just this half glass thing. Always, when in doubt, write down the stack and say, what are the wins so far I've had? It's like depositing these wins that you can look back on and say, holy shit, I have come a long way. I can do this thing. And it's almost like a confidence booster. So you drink that potion and say, I'm invincible. This will happen, and I'm going to go out and conquer the world again. So I was reading a book, and this quote stays with me: is the biggest battles are won twice, once in the mind and then in the real life. So right, you have to first tell your mind, I'm going to do this. So this exercise helps. The other exercise that helps is just like we take out the time to take care of our bodies by working out, by putting good nutrition in it, sleeping, and all that good stuff. For the mind, I would argue the other thing is to meditate. Can we just bring stillness to our minds, think and complete the thought process, and not get distracted, right? So what if this happens? Then what next happened? Complete that entire thought process and train your mind to do so, because it helps you to think through, oh, here's a gap that could happen. And we have a tendency to blow it up, right? Like this is going to happen. The sky's going to break down. Write down what my fears are. And then once you look at those fears and you look at them, it just becomes more manageable and say, what am I talking about? Because it's you transfer those thoughts and put them in writing, becomes more tangible. And once a tangible beast becomes more tameable, if you will. So I would say,
I like that. A tangible beast becomes tameable. That's great.
yeah. I
Yeah,
occasionally come up with these. So yes.
perfect. Mark, what is the number one habit you think successful gym owners should adopt?
There's many different ways to go, but if I had to boil it down, especially doing this for 12 plus years, if there is no plan, then you don't know where you're going. So, and chaos will follow. So preparation is the key. We're trainers, we're coaches. We do this with our clients. We recommend this to our clients. We need to take our own medicine with this. So this is the night before, and I'm going to expand on just not just preparation, but self-evaluation and self-assessment. And this could be done on a daily, weekly, definitely a quarterly basis, right? But definitely when it boils down to it is, what's the plan? Where am I going? What am I doing tomorrow to get this done? And then how am I going, like, what are the steps to actually achieve this goal? So that doesn't happen if we don't stop and think and prepare. And again, on a more on a macro scale, how do we prepare? Like, where's our ultimate vision, whether it's a 3-year vision or 1-year vision? What's the target we're going for? Great, let's work backward. And what are the things that are on our map, on our destination, that we have to get to? Because it's playing the long game. If you expect to, there's no end it's business. It's constantly evolving. There's no end in sight. So we have to treat these miniature goals, even though these miniature goals could be 1 to 3 years. That's pretty short time in the life of some businesses or careers. So we got to know where we're going. We have to know the steps to get there. That doesn't happen if we don't have a plan that we're following, and it doesn't happen if we don't constantly reassess. Are we on track or off track? How do we make these adjustments and go from there? Because if you don't have that plan, sure, you know that problems are going to arise, chaos is going to happen, you're going to have to respond. And I say respond, not react. If I didn't have a plan, I'd be reacting. If I have a plan, I can respond appropriately for the right course of action and energy, and even sometimes finances and resources that I need to solve that problem, to maintain my path, so I can achieve my goal. So it doesn't happen without preparation.
Awesome. Perfect. What is the number one habit you recommend that gym owners adopt?
The number one habit I recommend that gym owners adapt is, if possible, there was a famous book by Brian Tracy called Eat That Frog. And the premise of the book was to do the hard thing, the one thing. And to me, it's that one thing that's going to drive your business forward. So perhaps it's booking a sales appointment. Whatever that is for you, make sure you do that first if possible. And if you're unable to do it first, maybe you have a really early training schedule. Then as soon as you can, you're going to book that time for yourself. Let's call it 30 minutes. And you're going to do something that is going to drive your business forward. If you do that each and every day, you will be amazed at the success you'll develop.
The last question I'd like to ask is, what is the number one habit that you recommend gym owners adopt in order to be successful?
Keep a good scoreboard.
Mm.
Keep your pulse on the numbers, on what's happening.
Great
Be
advice.
aware daily of what's happening. Do your math daily.
Do your math daily. That's the quote. I like that one. Keep your pulse on the numbers.
I've been in the industry for a very long time, and one of my coaches said that. And I'm one of those. And the other thing that as a gym owner is, you gotta keep learning.
Mm.
You have to keep learning. If you're not good at accounting, you gotta work on accounting. You gotta find out who has the best information out there for you. There's a lot of coaches that just they want to do everything that they know, but your knowledge sometimes is limited. You have to get more information.
Yeah, I mean, we
think of
see
that.
a lot of you'll notice, like in new or younger coaches tend to invest a lot in like another kettlebell certification, another mobility certification, a squat certification, but we're missing accounting, we're missing sales, we're missing marketing, we're missing
Psychology.
lifestyle stuff. Yeah.
And there's people out there, there's a lot of good people out there. I know, like I work with Vince for the longest.
Mm-hmm.
SPF Vince is amazing. I love that dude.
This is awesome.
I did it for 3 years, and I'm still staying in contact with him. I'm taking a break because I'm doing accounting and financing right now. I'll come back to him eventually, but you don't know everything. Learn a little more, but most important, put it into play.
Put it into play. Take action.
I don't care what you know if you're not putting it into play.
Yes, sir. I could not agree more. I could not agree more. What do you believe is the number one habit gym owners should adopt when they're thinking about when it comes to success? What is the number one habit that you think drives success in gym owners?
I would say the number one is knowing yourself. And the beauty of that one is you said one thing, so it gives me a lot of categories under that knowing yourself. For me, when I talk to young coaches, number one, you need to be a good coach because you have to understand that. But then number two, you need to be a good business owner. And under that, there's a lot of different categories. And so this knowing yourself is knowing what you need to work on and working on that every day to improve that. Because say you're, and I think you said the main the people listening to this are trainers going to the gym owner. So I'm going to make the assumption you're a good trainer already. And so now we're talking more the gym owner side. Okay, how good is your marketing? How good is your sales? How good is we talked a lot of finances here. How good is your hiring and firing practices? You know, how good, you know, there's so many different areas into there. So if you know yourself and you're not good at those, you have a few different options. One, you can have a partner that makes up for a lot of that. You can hire someone to make up for that, or you have to learn to make up for that. One of those things has to happen. You know, one of the big things that we do at my facility is I have a PhD behaviorist that does profile testing on everybody that comes in here. And we also talk about it as a team so everyone better knows how to communicate with each other. But, you know, if we can learn what people's motivators are, if we can learn what in yourself as well, what people's personality styles are, then we can better figure out what we're going to be good at, what we're not going to be good at. And with that, either find the partner, hire the person, or make up for that with continued education.
I love that. I think that being in the habit of reevaluating your own self-awareness is an extremely powerful tool. Knowing what your superpowers are so you can double down on them, and
100%.
knowing what's short so you can either hire out for that or get your own help and, you know, get your own certification and fixing whatever that wherever we're falling short. I think that it's such a good it's such a powerful thing to be able to look inside and go, here's what I'm great at, here's what I need to work on. And then being able to share that and be upfront with your team, even mentioning that, okay, did I bring on a partner that makes up for some of this, or did I hire the person that makes up for some of this? Just real smart, looking for every avenue of opportunity to how do we as a company cover all the bases. I love it. I love that. So, Matt, I know you've been in the business for a long time, 14 years. You've run a very successful gym. I know you're all semi-private. You've got a huge clientele, great big space. With all that success, can you give me an idea of the one habit that you believe all gym owners should adopt that's going to lead them towards success like yours?
Yeah, so that's a tough question. There's a lot of them, but one we go back to often is having a system. You know, that system is going to, of course, it saves yourself time, energy, and money. And if you can just run the play, I think that guaranteed success comes with it. So it's about having the boring stuff, right? We talk about having all your SOPs written out, a really boring task that most gym owners, they're just not going to do. And we didn't do it for several years, but have SOPs for everything, have a system for everything, follow the system, right? And if the system doesn't work, at least you know what to go back to look at, and you can revamp that system. So I think one of the big things is I think a lot of gym owners, when you start, you just kind of free ball it, right? You're kind of building an airplane that's just falling off the cliff and you're throwing stuff together. And that's understandable to get started. But as you mature, 3, 5, 7 years in business, and we've been 14 years, I think having those systems in place and just being a system guy, because if you run the system, it takes the emotion out of it. And to be successful at business, I think you got to remove the emotion and look at the numbers and look at the systems. And I think that goes a long ways. So I think my one thing would be, I know it's kind of boring and monotonous, but run the play, develop systems, stick to them, and revisit them and revamp them if they don't work.
Yeah, I love that. I think we tend to look at systems as the like restraining, as a way of restraining what you do. And in a way, they do that in a healthy way. But systems really provide that safety net that gives you room to improvise in other places.
Mhm. Yeah, that's absolutely right. Yeah, and some people, look at it as, black and white, right? Like run it to the T, and other people's like, it's just kind of there if you need it. But the reality is it's somewhere in the middle, right? They give you some parameters to follow. And that's especially from if you want to grow and be successful, staff development's a huge thing. And without a system in place or SOPs or something to go back to, everything might be right here in your head, but it's not getting to your staff and getting to your team. And then also, I think culturally, those systems from the top, right out to the culture, and so it goes all the way down to the members. So, but yeah,
Thanks,
it's
Matt.
not fun, boring, but it works, right?
Sometimes the boring stuff is the best
Yeah.
advice.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
You know, the thing I love about good habits is that they're universal. Setting a good habit in your business life and setting a good habit in your daily life often positively affect each other. Now, we did promise you 7 habits, so I've got one more for you. In the time I've spent having the honor of being able to work with some of the most successful gym owners in the country, the one habit that I don't think gets talked about enough is getting in the habit of scouting the next talent, doing everything you can and passing all that information you have onto the next best coach, to the next best gym owner, even under your wing. So taking all of that hard work and effort and making sure that you're making it easier for the next person to come up in line with you, making the industry better, right? Because that's what we're all about. It's not just making ourselves better, making our clients better, but making the industry better. Thanks for tuning in to Naamly University Online. Make sure to subscribe and share. Oh, and of course, click the link below for more content like this. And don't forget to smash that bell for alerts.